All right. I was like, officially, the actual free agency. There was a wave one, but technically, that's the stuff you could do before noon. Anyway, but as soon as noon hit, I was like, things started flying. Now, not as crazy as it normally would, just because I was like, the free agent pool wasn't the same. Now, it wasn't the same key big names as it's been like in the past years. But at the same time, things did happen. We had Justin Fields going to the Jets. I really do like that move. I was like, everything else around the Jets is really pretty young, to be honest. And I was like, so everybody's around the same age. You get Fields back with Garrett Wilson. So I was like, out of all these quarterbacks that's been able to hook up with all of their former receivers and stuff like that, hey, maybe they'll get something out of it. It's not too big of a deal. I was like, don't get me wrong, I seen 30 million guaranteed. I was like, damn. I was like, they starting to become almost like the NBA, where these deals ain't small no more. But at the same time, I was like, it's only 2 years, really 1 year, to be honest. I was like, they still got Tyrod Taylor. That's why I thought they might go and get a young quarterback. That doesn't stop them to me from getting a young quarterback, but I don't think they actually probably will, just because once if you get something like say you get Shadur Sanders at 7, that put pressure on Justin Fields to where it's like guess what? At some point they might call for Sanders. Even if you go in the second round and get like or something like Moreau or something like that, they're gonna be calling for him at some point as well too. So I think they're gonna just stick it with Justin Fields this year, try to build out that team. Like I said, you got Tyrod Taylor there as a guy that's in the whole with the facility as well too. So I was like, I was like veteran quarterback you could turn to if it goes bad. But I was like, I think this is good for Fields. I was like, I would have liked him to go back to Pittsburgh, but I felt like he didn't feel like they were going to like do him right. Which why would he? I was like, Jets. I think that's a good thing where it's like there's not a quarterback necessarily on the future. There's not a win right now quarterback. It's like let's just do this right here. And also them coming from the Lions, I think they want to take on a reclamation project like Field and see if we get them right. Because if he could just be a good quarterback, he don't have to be the franchise dude that's so high or something like that. You just want a really good quarterback. If he could be like Geno Smith, that's a win to me. You can flush out the rest of the roster or whatever and get a quarterback later on. I was like, speaking of quarterbacks, Sam Darnold going to the Seahawks. I was like, that's all right. I was like, I don't think he's going to be as bad as we've seen him last year. But it's not going to be as good either now that he only has and Jigba to throw to. So it was like now you done took away nearly all his weapons away. And I was like, it is going to change how he is as a quarterback. Even though I know the Seahawks is probably going to fill the rest of that offense around him as well too. But I do think that Darnold, I was like, is young. The rest of the team is really young as well too. So this one also makes sense, almost like the Jets, is that it's like old quarterback gone. We get in a new quarterback. He's young. The contract isn't long again. It's this new wave of this 3 year type of like deal where it's like cool, we're not beholden to this dude or whatever like that. He's still young enough to also get money. It works out for both people in this way. But I was like, but Darnold got a strong arm to play up there in Seattle. I was like, he mobile even though he don't ever use his running ability anymore. But I was like, I don't think this is bad. I don't think this is bad for the Seahawks. I was like, they got pretty much one of the top quarterbacks that was out here. They don't have to force themselves to draft a quarterback now. They can pretty much take their time and almost like the Jets do whatever they want to in this situation. The Commander getting Laramie Tunsil. Well, I know that it was sort of a weird year. I was like, he does solidify that left tackle spot. I was like, I'm pretty sure that they probably take that other tackle and bump him in, and it's almost like they're going to be doing some form of like the Philadelphia Eagles with their offensive line of just moving a guy and making it really big around around him. Whatever. I was like, but that's another piece that they got. They don't really have a lot of draft pick, but they still I think got their first and their second or whatever. So I was like, yeah, that's still pretty good. I was like, at this point now, to me, they just needed pass rusher. To be honest, they lost Chin and stuff, but I was like, I don't think that's too big of a deal. They got back Bobby Wagner, Zach Ertz, whatever to round out that offense. That defense, and I was like, they lost Nami Brown, but I was like, I'm pretty sure that was like they'll probably bring back Noah Brown and stuff like that. They'll probably bring back some dudes like that. Cause they will need another third receiver at this rate once again, especially because Debo can't stay healthy or whatnot. But yeah, I was like, so now I was like the Patriots. I was like a lot of their stuff is really just. I was like when you have a team that deprived of players and talent and depth, you just sort of got to just fill it in where you can with stuff. So getting I was like Spillman from I was like the linebacker, getting Carlton Davis, getting Milton Williams. I was like I was like also you're adding talent that isn't just seem like you're just adding talent, just add talent. Like it's not like some old dude that you just adding to just be adding. I was like, these dudes have been productive on other teams as well. I was like, they sort of fit. I was like, you got two of them that's been in. I was like, been in won the Super Bowl with Davis and Williams. Now it's just about getting something for the offense for. I was like for the Patriots. That's really what it's really about. Just getting somebody on offense for Drake May. Like you want to get a veteran receiver. That's what you sort of want to get in this situation. Uh, Also, right now, I'm just going to say that the Broncos, I was like, getting some defense, which I was like, I'm not saying, I was like, which is good or whatever. Dang it, who? They also, I was like, no, that was just a rumor. But, I'm talking about Denver and they getting, like, they got the safety and the linebacker from 49ers. Is that the 49ers? I was like, I see somebody talk about, like, oh my God, we're losing so many people. They're losing this talent. I was like, yeah. Because y'all about to pay Brock Purdy. If this is not to me a sense that y'all about to pay Brock Purdy, is this because like we got to it's like we can't sign a lot of these dudes back. We're letting a lot of them go. I was like we trading away some people. They're in a money bind. You about to pay your quarterback. And you about to pay your quarterback really something significant that you can't have any of these people necessarily sticking around. Whereas like you would normally be like, oh, let's sign them to a deal, see if they stay healthy, or see if they. I was like, they would have signed Ken Lund back. They would have signed the safety. I'm not gonna butcher his name. Signed him back. They would have grabbed some of these people back. They're not because I was like because they can't because they're about to sign the quarterback. So get ready for that. Get ready for that Brock Purdy experience. Also, Kenny Pickett got traded to. I was like to Cleveland. Now I'm not down on Kenny Pickett like as much as other people. There's even people I've seen that they said Tanner McKee played better than him, and that's why he sort of became like a little bit of the backup. I think Kenny Pickett is an all right quarterback. I don't think he's. I was like I think he could be good at I was like, but I don't think he's about to be like oh my like I don't think that talent's there. But I will say that in Cleveland with Stefanski and how he plays that offense, and I was like, and why I thought that he was pretty decent in the time that he was with the Eagles because I was like, the way the Eagles play, I think it makes it really easy for a quarterback to really actually sort of play in that system. Yes, it'd be different because Kellen Moore's not there, which is one reason why I do think he traded him. Kenny Pickett, I do think is a starter to backup quarterback be in this league. Like I was like, if he's starting for your team, are you looking for a quarterback at some point? Yes. But I was like, I think you can ride him into the season or whatever, depending on where your team is at. But you really don't. I was like, you don't want to have to rely on him. And I was like, who knows after hit, maybe you can have a Darnold resurgence with the Cleveland Browns. But I do think that this was a move to make former first round pick. I don't think they're taking a quarterback. I think this sort of signals that they're not taking a quarterback. They would have got like a older guy or somebody that we would have thought of a journeyman like a Jameis Winston. I'd have been like, oh, okay, they still might take a quarterback. I actually think they're not taking a quarterback. I think this is their move to get away from that. I'm not saying in the first round with the number 2 pick. I'm not saying that they won't take a quarterback. I'm saying they're not going to take a first round quarterback. I feel like they're going to probably take the best player that they can at that spot. To be honest, I was like, could be wrong, but no. Other than that, I was like, there was really no other big crazy moves. I was like, that was sort of the one that I feel like of talking topic. Pretty much, I was like, yeah, the Panthers. I was like, fill out their roster. and whatnot. But we're just gonna have to see because they're a young team and they also just needed depth. They were so deprived. I was like the Bears. I was like they're revamping their squad, getting Grady Jackson, getting I was like a center and two guards, and making sure that line is basically on par with how they had the Lions and the Eagles type of thing. You know, where you can protect your quarterback. Um, I was like, they still gonna need. I was like, still gonna need a little bit more, and probably another receiver. I was like, they need a dynamic receiver on that end. Um, yeah, I was like, other than that, I was like, everybody else has been like a move here, a move there. I was like, the Eagles, I like the 49ers. Them getting rid of people is understandable because I was like, while the 49ers are going to replenish in the draft, the Eagles will too, but you know that the Eagles will make moves. I was like, all this is to free up money so they can probably make some other moves at times too. So I was like, I'm not worried about them in the same way like the 49ers or whatever like that. Cowboys ain't doing nothing. I was like, it looks more serious that Aaron Rodgers might go to the Steelers at this rate. Where does Russell Wilson go at this point? Uh, yeah, thing I was like, yeah, thing to fill up. But anyway, that was just about wave two of or wave one, however you want to look at it. Whatever. We'll keep on going. Till then, peace out.